Hello, Sarah here, and welcome back to the third instalment of my beginners course. So we're just going to start seated today, so get yourself kind of comfortable. You can either cross your legs, you can have your legs upright, you can have them out to the front, however you wish. You can sit in a block, but ultimately I just want you to be sat nice and tall, okay, so you can kind of move your bum cheeks to get into that nice tall position, okay. So we're drawing those shoulders down the back, relaxing them down. I'm going to start by just doing a bit of mobilisation. So we start with our neck, and we're just going to take our neck side to side. Okay, nice exhale as we turn around. A lot of us spend a lot of time hunched over computers, so we want to really mobilise and strengthen our neck muscles so that we don't end up in that kind of forward head posture all the time. Lovely. Okay, you're going to take your ear to your shoulder this time, so just taking it over, back into the centre and over to the other side. Now I want you to think about really lengthening up through the neck, so it's not about trying to get your ear to your shoulder or your shoulder up to your ear. Keep those shoulders relaxed and just really lengthening as though somebody's pulling you up off onto an angle, not pulling you down there but just pulling on an angle. Okay, so lifting up and over. Good. And then you're going to take it all the way around, so you take the chin all the way down to the chest. And then circle it round, so you look up at the ceiling. So again, just nice and slow. Okay, then change direction. You may be feeling lots of crunching, like I am. Always do with this one. Try not to slouch when you're doing this, so sort of sitting up nice and tall. And then bring that head back into the centre again. Okay, then we're going to take it to our shoulders. So we're just going to do some shoulder rolls. Just take them back. Open that chest out. And just get a little bit bigger with those elbows involved as well. Really open the chest. And then the whole arm all the way around. Up by the ears, as close to the ears as you can get them, and round. Lovely. Last one. Okay, and then you're going to take it forward just with the shoulders. Again, sitting nice and tall. And then get the elbows in. Lovely. And then hold on. And one last one. Okay. We're then going to just take it to our sides. So we're just going to do some nice reaches. So you're just going to put your hand down and reach over to the side and then back in. Again, like with the ear, we're not trying to get ourselves right down. We're trying to lift over, up and over. So you're reaching off at a diagonal. Okay, so just lifting and reaching up. But we need to keep both bum cheeks completely on the ground. So again, nice big exhale as we lift up and over. Lovely. Last two. And then we'll go for a little bit of rotation. So you're just going to twist around, look over your shoulder, come back into the centre. So the exhale, twist, inhale, centre. Again, still staying nice and tall. Lovely. And just one more side. Lovely, and bring it in. Okay, so we're going to go down onto the floor now. So you're going to roll back onto your mat. Okay, so remembering we've got those feet hip width apart, and we've got our heels are kind of right underneath our knee. Okay. So, in that position, again, we're just going to do those pelvic tilts. So just have a little bit of a rock back and forth on the back there, on the pelvis. Warm up that lower spine. And then we're coming into that neutral position. So remembering our triangle of our pubic bone and our hip bones, that's nice and flat. Okay, and you've got that arch onto your back. Alright, we're going to start with some hip opener leg slides. So you start with your right leg, open out to the side, lengthen along the mat, rotate it in, slide that back in. Stay on that same side. Open out on your exhale, lengthen. Inhale, rotate it in and slide it back in. All the while keeping your pelvis nice and still. So you can put your hand on your hip bones to see how much movement there is there. And so just keep this left side completely still. Lovely. Okay, we'll take it over to the other side. So we open out. Draw your abdominals in, your pelvic floor in, so that we're not moving that pelvis. Just so this mat's not the best for sliding your feet along. Ultimately, you want to make sure that you've got a straight line. I don't know, hopefully you can tell that from the video. But I'm going, I'm opening out, my foot's going straight down. I rotate the leg in, but the foot's staying, it's tracing the same line there and back. Lovely. And we relax there. Okay, we'll take it into those tabletops, so that practicing of the imprinting. So we're going to exhale as we imprint the spine. We lift up, we lift up, we lower down, we lower down, and then relax the stomach. Now, if this is too much and you feel it sometimes when you go, the first one is easy, you've got that stomach's fat down, but then as soon as you lift that other one, your back starts to arch and your belly comes up. If that's happening, we don't want that, okay? So I just want you to practice single leg ones. So I want you to exhale, do your single leg one, keep that contraction, lower your leg down and relax it. Then lift the other leg, contract it, keep it contracted and relax. So just do single leg ones if it's just getting too much. The other thing is as well, you can maybe get to that point and you're fine, but then you're losing it as you lower that leg down and your back comes up again. So again, just try just going a bit faster or a bit slow, just changing the tempo a little bit, not too fast though, or just doing the single leg ones. Okay, I want you to really think about drawing those abdominals in, but also remembering to release that tension when we get down as well, so we're not holding the whole tension the whole of this exercise. And last one. Okay, and relax it there, good. All right, you're going to bring those feet together. I'm just going to do a little windmill. So you're going to keep those feet and knees glued together. And we're just going to drop our knees over to one side on an inhale. And look at my feet, they're stacked. One's not further forward than the other, and not like this. They're both on top of each other. My knees are glued together, and my shoulder is still on the floor. So we inhale over, and then we exhale, draw those legs to bring them back in. So take it over the other side again. My knees are glued together. This bottom one is not further forward. They're glued together. Okay, and then again, exhale, draw them back in. So it's going to help your obliques. So we inhale over, exhale in. Okay, over. Lovely. We'll do one more each side. Keep those shoulders on the ground. And bring it on in. Okay, take those legs back out to that parallel position. Okay, make sure we're back into our neutral position as well. Okay, so we're going to go into our ab preps. So we're going to have our hands behind our head. So just kind of at the base of our spine, we're not the base of our neck. We're not cupping our hands and like pulling our head forward with our hands. They're just placeholders, okay? So you've got your hands there. We're going to do our little head nod, and then we exhale. As we lift up, look through our knees, we inhale, and then we lower back down. As I say, these elbows stay nice and wide. We're not pulling our head like so, keeping those elbows wide. lowering it back down. So nice and slow. Inhale, head nod. Exhale, lift. Draw everything in. Inhale, hold. Exhale, back down. Staying in that neutral, remember, as well. One more. Lovely. Good. All right. We are going to go on to our we're going to do our breaststroke prep. So, rolling on over. Okay, so breaststroke prep that we're going to do this time. You can keep doing the one where you've got your hands by your ears, and then we're exhaling, draw those shoulders away, and just lifting slightly, coming into a dart position. So we can do that version, or if you want to, you can take it to the second position, which is our hands down by our sides. Okay, and then we're going to lift and reach. So same principle in that we need to get those shoulders away from the ears. So we exhale as we lift, and we're reaching those fingers towards our toes, really lengthening those toes away from us, and then we inhale as we lower back down. So exhale, lift, reach, inhale down. Relax those hands on the floor in between each one. They don't need to stay hovered the whole time. Lift. And again, what I want you to think about is drawing the abdominals in, so you're not pushing down with the stomach. Think about, the main things for this one is getting the shoulders away from the ears and lengthening. So somebody's pulling you by the hair and by the feet. One last one. Lovely. And then, as I mentioned last time, with any kind of back extension work, we then need to counteract with just a little bit of a stretch the other direction. So a little shelf stretch or a child's pose. Again, just take a couple of deep breaths. And then we come on up. Okay, so we're going to go into our half roll backs, which we did last time. So this is where we've got nice upright posture. We're going to work through that tilt of the pelvis as we roll back. And we're going to use those abdominals to pull ourselves forward. Okay, so again, nice and tall, shoulders down the back, arms out. We inhale, and then we exhale as we draw our abdominals in, curl through that pelvis, all the way back. We breathe in at the back point there, keep that belly curled in, and we shoot forward. Okay, we inhale, exhale as we curl back. So we're trying to keep this what we call a C curve as we do this. So we're not straightening up in between, we're just straight at that first point and that was it. And I really want you to think about just holding in that tension point. If stomach might feel a bit, ooh, we hold in that position, and then as we exhale, really draw those abdominals in as we reach forward. Okay, it should be the strength of those abdominals pulling you forward. Okay, give me a couple more. Oh, and don't forget we've got our feet on the floor, they don't curl up. Okay, feet on the floor. And relax there. Okay, so the next one is a similar move in that we're curling through that pelvis, but this time we're getting a little bit of obliques because we're going to do a sweep as well. And for this one, rather than staying in that curve for the whole time, we are coming back to straight back in between each one. So we're sitting up nice and tall, we curl through the pelvis and we sweep our arm back. We're looking at our hand. Inhale at that tension point, exhale as we kind of curl up again. So we exhale, inhale, hold, draw the belly in, exhale, come up to straight back. So sitting really nice and tall in between each one. What I'd say as well is to keep an eye on your knees as well, because quite often they end up kind of going together or coming out. They do all sorts of different things, our legs go over, so try and think about keeping them parallel, so they're not doing anything, they're just staying put. I often put one of those the Pilates ball in between the knees, because that way then you get a little bit of inner thigh, but you also get that consistent position. Okay, and bring it on in and shake those arms out and relax. Okay, so we're going to go back onto our back, so roll it on down. Okay, and your next one we're going to do is the hundreds. So I introduced you to this last time. So the last one we did was in the ab prep position. This time, so you can carry on doing that one. So just as a quick reminder, we nod our head, and then we lift up. We're drawing the abdominals in, we're in that neutral position, and we're pumping in for 5 counts, out for 5 counts. Okay, so if you're comfortable with that, and that's the level that you want to be at, that's absolutely fine. Stick with that. You can, next level, if you wish, take one leg up. So we're doing that. And we then switch halfway around, switch to the other leg. If, however, you want to go to the next level, we're going to exhale, lift up, take those legs up, nod the head, lift the shoulders and neck off the ground, and we're going to pump that way. Okay, so whichever leg positioning you want to be in there, please feel free to do whichever one you want. If you've got your legs up, what I want you to do is squeeze them together. So when we're in the ab prep position, we've got them parallel. If we've got them up in the air, they're squeezed together. And a bit of that squeeze will really help give you kind of a bit more of a rounded exercise and give you more thigh work as well, especially your inner thigh. Okay, so, and don't forget, obviously you can relax, you can look after your head by giving it a bit of support if you need to. Okay, right, so put your legs in whichever position you want to be in. I'm going to put my legs up, so anyone that wants to do that, do that. I'm going to nod the head, we're going to lift up, reach those shoulders away from our ears, and we're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 20, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 30, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 40, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 50, keep that belly flat, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 70, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 80, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 90, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 100. And then whichever one you were doing, just bring those knees in and lower your head down. Maybe have a little bit of a rock round on your lower back line. Okay, so good. Often find that one's the hardest one out of all our abdominals, so well done for getting through that one. Okay, so next one, you're going to take it into a single leg stretch. So we're going to take those legs into that tabletop, so imprint and lift up, okay? Nod your head, and then we're lifting the torso up, holding onto one of those legs, as we then exhale and lengthen out. So we did this one last session. So you're going to exhale as you lengthen out, you're just drawing that one leg in, just holding onto it. We're lifting those shoulders up off the ground, and our gaze is kind of looking at our knees. So we're not trying not to have your head looking up at the ceiling, we're looking forward. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And again, bring those knees in, lower your head. Excellent. Right, next one, I'm going to do a little bit more for those obliques. It's all about the obliques today. Okay, so you're going to pop those feet down on the floor and I'll give you your different options. We're going to, you can either, as I said last time, you can either just do the upper body. So we're doing that, or you can add in that knee. Or you can do the same legs that we were just doing. So you can twist and twist. So do whichever one works for you. So we're exhaling as we do it. And we're trying the whole time to keep the back of the pelvis on the mat. So when you lift up one side, so say I'm lifting up this one, this bit of my bum's not coming off the ground, and everything's keeping on the floor. 3, 2, and 1. And lower that head down. Okay, if you need to, you can have a big old stretch in between. Let's reach through those hands and feet. Okay, so we're going to add on a new one this time. We're going to do a rollover prep. So your options here are, so I'll show you the full version, which we are not doing at the moment, but you'll just get an idea of what we're aiming for ultimately. So for this one, you've got your legs are out on an ankle, and then we roll over, take our feet to the ground, towards the ground, open our feet, and then we curl ourselves all the way back down, bring those legs together, come back to that diagonal. Now, obviously, as I say, I'm not suggesting we're doing that because it's definitely not a beginner's one. So we're going to start with, your options are to, because we need to kind of work on that the lower abdominals really, the strength of that to help get you over. So for this one, you're going to have your knees in a tabletop, and you're going to pop those hands on top of your knees, okay? And the idea here is that we're just going to exhale as we push those knees up into the hands, and our hands are pushing against it, so you're your own resistance. So you push in and low. So you can just see my bum's just slightly moving off the ground, and I'm kind of activating those lower abdominals to do that. Okay, so you can either do that, so carry on doing that if you want to do that, or we've got a reverse curl. So this is where we've got our legs crossed and we're going to lift our bum off the ground slightly. Okay, you might feel like you're not lifting your bum very far, and that's fine. Just keep practicing and you'll eventually get it a little bit higher. But we're not aiming for too high, we're just getting that initial start movement going. Okay, so if you do manage to get your bum fairly far off the ground, I want you to curl down nice and slowly, okay? So we don't want to do that and then thud. You know, I want you to really think about kind of curling down. You will find you'll probably push in with your arms a little bit when you're doing this one. You can always turn them upwards to try not to put in it as much, but don't worry too much about that. Okay, last one. And relax it there, bring those knees in, have a hug. Okay, all right, so we're going to go onto our sides. No, onto our front, sorry, beg your pardon. All right, so we're going to do a single leg extension. So you're going to have your head, your forehead on your shoulders, forehead on your hands, like so. Okay. I'm just going to talk to you with my head to the side, but I really want you to make sure that you're looking down so that we keep that spinal alignment. Okay. You won't be able to hear me if I talk to the mat. Okay, so I'm just going to turn to the side. I want you to relax the upper body completely. Relax the stomach as well. We're not letting that stomach just push into the ground, okay? So you've got your legs parallel. You're going to lift a leg
and you're going to reach it out, pointing that toe, and then we bring it in and we lower it down. Now it's not, you can't see, it's not a huge movement, so we're just lifting, and then it's like somebody pulling our leg out of our socket, so we're really pointing across the room, and then we bring it in and lower it back down. So it's like literally somebody's pulling your leg out and then popping it back in the socket, okay? So we've got a different breath for each one. So we inhale, exhale, reach, inhale back in, exhale down, okay? I just want you to alternate legs, okay? What I want you to also think about here is just keeping those hip bones both on the mat. So when one's lifting, so when the leg's lifting, you're not lifting the hip bone off the ground, okay? So you're just lifting the leg slightly and lengthening. And as I say, relax that head. The head, not the head. The shoulders, I mean. Lovely, one more. Okay, so we're going to still stay in this position in terms of our head on our hands. This time we're just going to take those legs a little bit wider. You're going to bend the knees and bring the heels together. So you're going to have little duck feet, so turn around so you can see. So you've got your feet pointing out, your toes pointing out, your heels together, okay? So you might need to just jiggle around with where your knees are, like how wide your knees are, and whether your feet are a little bit further away or whether they're a bit in. So just try and fiddle around. If you're not feeling it, just have a go at moving around. So this one is for our glutes. So what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze your heels together on an exhale and then release on an inhale, okay? And so that pressure of putting those heels together will activate your glutes. So basically, if you were in the room with me, I would be able to come around, prod your bum, and it would be rock solid, okay? So that's really hard, it's not squidgy, and then release, which then it's a bit more squidgy, okay? So I want you to squeeze. You might get a bit of hamstring in the back of your thigh. I quite often don't get it as much now, but I used to always get hamstring cramp in my left side whenever I did this. I've been doing it so much now, I think my hamstrings just got used to it. So again, relaxing that head and the shoulders, neck. So we just squeeze, we hold for the duration of that exhale, and then inhale as we relax. And like with the last one, try not to push down with that belly button. Imagine you've got like an ice cube underneath it and you just try to pull it in a little bit. And give me one more. Relax it down. Yeah. All right. I'm going to take it onto one side. All right. So we're going to be in a nice long line for this one. Okay. So we're lengthened out. I want you just to double check. Hand, shoulders, hips, feet, all nice long line. And I want you to make sure you're stacked and you're not jutting forward or backwards. Okay. So a nice straight line. Lengthen that top leg away from you, so you've got that kind of a bit of a waist lift, and you're not just relaxing your stomach into the side, into the floor. You're kind of activated there. Okay. So we're just going to do the first two of a series of 5 different ones. I'll introduce the other ones in the future sessions. So this first one, we're going to lift with a pointed toe and then flex as we go back down. So we inhale, lift, and then we exhale, flex down. Now again, you're thinking about lengthening through that foot, so you're really pointing and then you're really pushing through that heel. Lift and lower. So we're trying not to let this waist lift. So if we kind of go up here, your waist does tend to drop down. So I want you to kind of keep it almost at shoulder height, really not going very high at all. So inhale. If you're feeling like a bit unstable, then for this one you can bend your knee so you've got a bit more of a tripod effect. Just a bit wrong there. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last one. Inhale, exhale, and relax down. Okay. So again, you can have your leg bent for this next one as well. And we're going to take foot to hip height again, and we're just going to do some little circles. So I want you to stay nice and stable on this hip. Well, that's what your hand's here for as well, for a bit of support. And the other way. So try not to wobble that hip, trying to make sure they're still staying stacked. 3, 2, and 1. And lower it down. Good. All right, so we're going to go onto our back in between. We're going to go to the other side in a second. So just remember which side you were just doing. Okay, so from here we're going to go into a shoulder bridge prep. So you're going to have those feet hip width apart again, and the heels underneath the knees. For this one, so we did in the previous ones, we've done a hip roll. Glute bridge, which is where we're curling all the way up. Okay, so we're working through that spinal articulation. This one, we're just working on kind of a hinge motion, a thrust kind of motion. So from here, rather than curling through each individual vertebra, our bum is just lifting straight up and straight down. So it's literally a exhale, inhale. No curling through that spine whatsoever. Okay, so just lift. Okay, and I want you to push through with the balls of the feet and the toes as well as the heels. A bit of everything. Make sure we're squeezing up under the top. Lovely. Okay, you're going to hold up for the next one. And then we are going to just do some heel lifts. Okay, so just alternate those heel lifts. Keep that bum lifted and keep those hips level. Okay, 3, 2, and 1, and lower that bum down. Okay, so the next one, we're going to lift our feet off the ground fully. If that feels uncomfortable and unstable and you're rocking, stick with the heel lift ones. Okay, so you're going to lift up, keep that bum lifted, keep those hips level, lift the knee, lift the other knee, lift the knee, and lift the other knee, and then we'll lower down. So we're going to do 2 on each leg. Okay, so lift up, keep those hips level, keep that bum up. What we don't want is this. So keep that bum up. Last one. And then lower it down. Okay, then we're going to do a third round, third and final. Lift it out, really squeeze those glutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and lower it back down. Excellent. Good. Right. So we're going to take it over onto our other side. Right. So we're in a really nice long line here. Okay. So double check again. Look down. Make sure we're in a line. But then with our head, make sure that you're not constantly looking down at your feet. You're looking straight ahead. So again, it's that nice spinal alignment that we talked about before. Okay, lengthen that top leg away so we've got our waist kind of lifted. We point and then we flex. So inhale, exhale. Lovely. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Lovely. Just getting good movement through that foot and the ankle as well. Good. And one last one. Brilliant. Okay. Then we'll take it to those circles. Lift about shoulder height. Keep them steady on that pelvis. Just small circles. They don't need to be big. And remember, you can bend that bottom leg if you need that extra stability. And reverse it. 3, 2, and 1. Brilliant. Okay, and then we're going to go on to our throat. So we're going to go into what we call a swan dive. So there's a bit more of a back extension, a little bit more than our breaststroke prep that we were doing before. Okay, so we're going to take our legs to about shoulder width apart this time, and we're going to have our forearms parallel to our torso. And we're going to have the hands are kind of between head, shoulder, round about there, okay? And we're going to, again, with our exhale, come up and then inhale down. And this, again, is all about drawing those shoulder blades down and back of the ribcage. But we're coming up further this time. So we exhale, draw those shoulders away, and then gradually pushing ourselves up. And we're looking, you can see where I'm looking, where I've got my neck in a line with my spine. So I'm not looking upwards, and I'm not looking downwards, okay? I'm looking kind of my head's not moving, it's just coming with the rest of my body. So we exhale, draw those shoulders down, lifting up. Squeeze those glutes, lengthen through the legs. We're getting a stretch all the way down the front of the torso as well. Really draw those abdominals in so that you're not going into that lower back again. Lengthen through. Exhale, draw the shoulders down. Push yourself up. As I say, you might need to just play around with whereabouts your hands are in relation to your torso. You might want to just move them slightly forward or move them slightly back. Right, we'll do one more. Roll yourself all the way down. Put your hands to your chest, push yourself up, and we'll come into a child's pose this time. So reach those arms forward. Again, take a couple of nice deep breaths. And then one up. We're just going to end in a seated position. So, ideally you want to have your legs out straight in front of you, but and I need you to be nice and tall and upright like we were at the beginning. If that's, again, pop a block underneath, or if you really can't sit up straight, then we're sitting in a kind of more cross-legged position. So I'm going to go actually side on, so I want you to see me. So I want you to envisage that you've got a wall behind you. You're peeling yourself away from it. So you're going to take your chin to your chest, and you're going to peel yourself away from that wall, walk your hands forward, and then we're inhaling at the bottom here, and then we're exhaling as we draw the belly in, curl ourselves, glue ourselves back to that imaginary wall. You could indeed actually do it against a wall, and then you'll feel the feedback and you'll realise what you're actually doing. In fact, I would actually recommend doing it against a wall first off. Because what I don't want you to do is to kind of slouch through the back. So I don't want you to go further back than your wall. Okay, so you're coming away from your wall, and further forward, down as you go forward, rather than kind of going like that. Okay, so just nice and tall, chin to the chest. We exhale as we curl ourselves forward, walk our hands forward, inhale, and then curl it all the way back. Now we're not trying to get our nose to our knee, we're not trying to get into some sort of yoga position where we're really crunched forward. We've got our imaginary ball that we're lifting up and over. Okay, and then we have one last one. And there you have it, folks. Well done for getting it through session 3. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions about any of the moves, then let me know. If any of them were still too hard for you, or you're just not feeling it in places that you're meant to be feeling it, then please do get in touch and let me know. Okay, I'll see you for the next one.